as businesses plan for the remainder of the year, the biggest challenge for them is to be able to separate signal from all these noises. Things like which disruptions are temporary, which shifts are sort of permanent and structural, and more importantly, where are the opportunities hiding amidst all the flashpoints and risks. We are now forecasting much more stability and a global GDP growth around 3% in 2026 compared to 2.9% predicted back in April. But what we do continue with the top line message, which is a slowdown story and a soft landing. So global growth slows from 3.5 last year to 3% in this year.
However, and this is critical, this is a framework for de-escalation and not a final resolution, which means that Iran nuclear negotiations are still ahead of us. Israel-Lebanon dynamics remain unresolved, as the professor mentioned, and broader US-China trade fragmentation risks have been around for quite some time now, and they are completely untouched at this point. And also, of course, US trade policy and tariffs. So the nature of the risks is shifting. From acute crisis, we are now into a persistent multi-region frictions at this point. So even with the de-escalation, businesses are still navigating geopolitical fragmentation, maritime choke point volatility, and then risks of multi-region conflicts opening up parallelly as well. So while it's a good thing and the world is definitely stabilizing, it is not simplifying at this point.
I think high tariffs are here to stay in terms of global fragmentation. We're not going back to a world of the World Trade Organization. We're going to see a world of regional trading agreements. It's not going to be a unified global economy. So companies need to prepare essentially for how do they deal with a fragmented global economy.
So bottom line is that normalization of one major choke point does not mean a return to, say, pre-2020 era of supply chain models. What firms are doing over the next couple of quarters is that first, resilience remains the priority, even as immediate pressure eases. The recent disruption has definitely reinforced how global supply chains can become extremely stressed within a short period of time. So firms will continue doubling down on buffer capacity and multi-routing.
I teach at Berkeley, so I can say that whenever I talk to my colleagues who teach global supply chains, 10 years ago, it was all about supply chain optimization, looking for the lowest cost market, looking for the technology that you need, and optimizing your global supply chain worldwide. I think after COVID, we saw that that was really not going to work out. We needed to think about security of supply and not simply efficiency.
Delivery giants, including DHL, after the war broke out, they have been using permanent backup routes. So instead of sailing through dangerous waters, they unload cargo at a safe port and move it across land via trains and trucks. Automakers. Due to sizable trade disruptions that we have seen in recent months, car makers like China's BYD have aggressively accelerated their plans to localize assembly lines out of China, acquiring or partnering with existing European and South African facilities, be it in Spain, Hungary, South Africa, to bypass the maritime shipping blockades completely. The way I see it, embedding resilience across policy, cost, operations with targeted scenario-wise planning is critical at this point. So companies that are integrating macro awareness with operational agility are the ones that are best positioned to outperform, not just in the near term, but also in the long term, because we are clearly in an era of structural and permanent shifts.
You have to be able to adapt to a non-market strategy, which means learning how to deal with governments, learning how to deal with international institutions, learning how to deal with NGOs. And I think companies that are able to do that will be much more successful.